Today I have made my way into Virginia from North Carolina. And this little area that I'm in today visiting is called Berry Hill. A small community with quite the history and lore. And I gotta say, it is not every day that you see a cemetery that has a no trespassing sign up. Most of the time they just have hours stated from sun up to sundown when you can come and visit the cemetery. Very interesting, to say the least. Good afternoon, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. Hitch Hiking Yeti here. Thank you so much for joining me today, as there's a very large bird flying around. This place is pretty spooky. This is going to kind of coincide with a statement that I made here on the channel here recently, here in the month of October, here in 2025. We're going to be checking out some places with a little legend and lore to it. And Berry Hill was at the top of my list of some of the places I want to go to, because they have a bridge not too far from here called the Berry Hill Bridge, but it's also known as Satan's Bridge. Okay, and just like that, I've made my way over here to the south side of the bridge. I'm actually in North Carolina at the moment. Right there is the signage welcoming you into North Carolina and Rockingham County. As I turn around, this here is what the bridge looks like today. It's a concrete bridge, very tattooed up with all kinds of graffiti, of course. I think the original bridge, which was a different type of a structure, this is just a regular concrete bridge. The original bridge was constructed in 1914, and it was a camelback truss bridge spanning across the Dan River. So the spooky names that are attached to this bridge is Satan's Bridge or the Devil's Bridge. It comes from decades of ghost stories told by locals and thrill seekers alike. These tales have circulated around the Danville area since the mid-20th century. Some of the things that cause people to think that is the satanic rituals that happen here. Some claim that during the 70s and 80s, the remote area under the bridge was used for rituals and cult meetings, leaving behind burned symbols, graffiti, that gave the place its sinister reputation. And one of the other haunted stories, as the wind begins to blow and pick up a little bit, is very chilly today. Some people say that a young woman was hung not too far from the bridge years ago, and their spirit haunts the site. You can supposedly hear whispers or screams when you stop your car at midnight. And then other people even said that there was a lady not too far from here, because there's a railroad track maybe less than a mile away, and she was unfortunately decapitated on the track or in and around the track. The stories vary depending on what website you go to and what form you read this stuff in, but supposedly she searches the roads or this area, this bridge, carrying a lantern in search of her head. All right, that was an experience. All this growth right here behind me, I actually trekked down through this stuff, Yeti style. But I just wanted to walk down here because supposedly all the satanic rituals and the mutilation and sacrifice of animals when the satanic cult was down here happened right here beneath the Berry Hill Bridge. But I don't see anything. I think that's something that if it did happen, it happened many, many years ago. But right now, there's nothing but a lot of growth, greenery, and it's kind of wet. But this is what beneath the bridge looks like, just in case you wanted to know. I ain't really seen any pentagrams down here. It's very quiet though. Kind of a weird place to just say this, but it's very peaceful right here. Okay, so we looked beneath the bridge. Wasn't too bad. Now we're just going to take a little walk back over into North Carolina from the Virginia side. And they claim when you're walking across the bridge, there's all kinds of graffiti with possible pentagrams and things like that. And supposedly, people, as they do in the South, they come out here and they park at midnight and turn their car off, and supposedly they cannot get their car started back up until they push their vehicle completely across the bridge. Yeah, don't do that, right? Right there is a kind of a weird looking star. Not really a pentagram because it doesn't have the circle, but right there is 666. You know, the whole sign of the beast thing, if you ever read the Bible. Kind of spooky. A lot of different graffiti adorned on this bridge. But maybe it's a good fishing spot too, because I did find some worms, some night crawlers. Very interesting form of artwork on this bridge, that is for sure. Man, this is a canvas for these people who come up here and paint. But so far, no pentagrams. I'm sure at one time they were pentagrams, but I think all the artists have kind of covered up most of that kind of artwork. Matter of fact, right here could have been one. Not that I want to see a pentagram, but I did read quite a bit. Pentagrams would be tattooed on this bridge in a lot of different areas, but I think right there where it says PGM, there used to be probably a pentagram right there in that location. Well, I think I made it. So I made it all the way across the bridge. Boom, I'm back in North Carolina. Nothing bad happened to me. And I gotta say something. The whole time I've been out here, I've only seen like one car drive down this road. This is a maybe a least traveled road in these parts. Maybe people say, I'm not driving across that bridge. I'm going around that bad boy. No Satan's bridge for me. But I wonder if somebody come back and pick up their Bill Dance Great Outdoor night crawlers. That's hilarious. I didn't even know he had his own brand of night crawlers, which I'm not opening to even see if there's any night crawlers left in there, but it's kind of neat to see some night crawlers. I used to watch Bill Dance Great Outdoors back in the day when I was into fishing a lot. So all that being said, my friends, we did it. We covered Satan's Bridge. Some people call it Devil's Bridge. Other people even just call it the Bear Hill Bridge. But all in all, this was a fun little outing today. I think I'm going to just take this as a win at this point, not hang around any longer before old Red Eye shows up. Because that's another part of the story, you know. People will say that they've seen people in cloaks and red glowing eyes and all that type of stuff out here hanging around in these woods. So I think we're just going to take it as a win, chalk it up one for us, and move on back down into North Carolina. All that being said, my friends, I'm all done. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I am the Hitchhiking Yeti, and I will see you in my next video. Y'all stay safe, and I hope to see you all again soon. So long. And so long to Satan's Bridge. Spooky.